What's good, tribe? You know. So that's one of my going forward into the new year. One of my I want to say um, callings that I want to champion is young men who live in fatherless households. So I'm on Google, right? And I always here's the thing: when I come up with a statistic, normally speaking, when I come up with a statistic, when I come up with stats, I go to Google and ask the question: hey, what percentage of inmates come from fatherless households? That's what I asked Google today. And so what I read was this: what percentage of prisoners are from fatherless homes? It reads, here are some troubling statistics about fatherless children in the U.S. from the National Center for Fathering and Fatherless Generation. 85% of youth in prison come from fatherless homes. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. Why is this important? This tells me one thing. When you look at the numbers, the information tells us, the stats tells us that your child, if you're a single parent, is 80% more likely to go to prison than a child who has a father in a household. Your child has a 75% chance of wanting to and or committing some form of self-harm. There's all kinds of assaults, be it, from a sexual nature or physical abuse. There's emotional damage that children deal with because the mother is just so overwhelmed. Now, this is not a shot at single mothers. It's not that at all, y'all. Let's stay there. What I want y'all to understand is what I'm advocating or what I speak about is I'm telling men the best thing you can do in your entire life is become the best version of you because the world's going to need the best version of you. Reread the stats. 85% of youth in prison come from fatherless homes. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. That tells me that fatherless homes are important. That tells me that women advocating for to be single mothers has to be the single greatest threat our country is going to face. In 5 to 10 years, all those children who don't have who don't have stable, disciplined fathers in their homes are going to be the ones that fill up the prison. Now, y'all may have your own opinion about this. I'll just go off the numbers. The numbers tell me this thing, so this is what I have to go off of. It makes no sense to me why we're not advocating for the reverse. Why are we not advocating for fathers to be more active in their children's lives? Why are we not advocating for men to step up into those roles as fathers and be the kind of father that their child needs them to be? When I grew up, my father wasn't present in my life. My mother was an addict, so I didn't have the best upbringing. When I look back on my life, as 46 years old now, when I look back on my life as a teen, if I would have had 10% more of active parenting in my life, just 10%, I go 5%. 5% more active parenting in my life than I had, my life would be so much better. I did a video a while ago, y'all, and I talked about the young lady I was speaking with, talking about that there isn't a book for parenting. And I said it is. I believe that, y'all. There is a book for parenting. You know what the book is? Your mama and daddy. Yeah, your mom and daddy. Think about it. If your parents said, hey, you know what does my child need to become the best version of themselves? What do I need to do? Because it's not on your children to figure out life, you asshole. It's your job to help them figure that out. So when they start life, at whatever point they start at, when they start life, they start off life with a little more advantage than everybody else. And people are sad about that, right? I see a lot of people when I did the video was upset because they didn't have that. They didn't have fathers in their household. Well, here's the thing, right? You may you may not grow up and have the advantage that some people have, right? How do we so what's the solve for that? I don't know the solve for that. But what I do know is that we are not moving in a direction that is going to help our society as a whole. Our children need stable, disciplined, structural men in their lives. They do. The one thing I always told my son and daughter is the best thing you can do for yourself is become the best version of you. Yeah, that's it. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. Become the absolute best version of yourself so that when you go into the society on whatever level, you improve people you come in contact with. You are helping people. You become an asset to everyone you come in contact with. I get it, right? I'm not going to act like I have all the answers because I don't. Mm. Um, but I do understand that looking at the money, right? I want to pivot for a second. Let's look at this from the money perspective. Because I'm trying to figure out how to analyze this so it really resonates with people. Look at the money perspective, right? We see the things that Bill Gates is doing and the storms and the land purchases they're making. Excuse me, right? We see all that. What if advocating for single mothers in a house is part of that system? Because, okay, so let's say the numbers are all correct. All the numbers are 100% correct. What you have then is you have, give me a second. What you have then is an entire society of individuals that are going to go to prison and create more jobs for prisons. Like, that's what's going to happen. You can't blame anybody. It's not the white man's fault. It's not Biden's fault. It ain't Trump's fault or Obama's fault or go back as far as Clinton, right? It ain't the next president's fault. If you are creating a long line of fatherless children who have an 80% likelihood of going 85% likelihood of going to prison, 85% likelihood of going to prison. That's 15% that you are not going to go to prison. So which means you're more likely to go to prison. You're creating the prison industrial complex workforce. It doesn't. Now we gonna think about this from a conspiracy theory level, right? It doesn't do the system any justice to tell you fathers are good in a household. It doesn't. Why would it? Why? If y'all really thought about that, if y'all gave that some real thought, right? We talk about fatherless households and how that affects communities. How does that affect the money? It doesn't. If you're going to build a prison, here's the thing. If your plan is, and for those of you who actually are, this video you may come across this video. If you finna build a prison, which if I was finna build a prison, I would definitely be all over this. Yup. Y'all all need to keep having kids. Fathers are trash. Because I know for a fact your child is going to come to my prison that I'm going to build in the next 10 years. I'm going to staff it with my family because I'm in my family's life. I'm raising children to be effective adults. I'm raising good kids, good grandkids. My family's going to staff this bad boy. Your family is going to fill it up. That's a win. I'm not finna. Do y'all understand what that means? If you look at it from a money perspective, you are not doing anything to better the community. You are literally creating the kind of jobs. I don't think I really grasped the level of what the hell y'all are creating. I'm not an advocate for it. I've never been an advocate for it, nor would I ever be. The numbers tell me I should not be an advocate for that. I am not an advocate for single mother homes. I am not. I'm not at all. And for those of you who are like, I'm not saying get married. What I'm saying is, number one, choose better men. That's number one. Choose better men. Number two, right? At least allow your child to be around their father. And lastly, right? Let's say the situation is the worst kind of situation where there's always an outlier. There's always somebody who doesn't fit the mold. So to that person, right? Find a program or a organization or a something that can be a role model for your child. Now, sons need a little more push than daughters do. Like my son is the kind of guy I need to be on his ass repeatedly. Man's in 20s. I still need to be on his ass repeatedly. That doesn't feel good. Being a father, you got to do all the mean things. If you're not there yet, I get that. I understand that. But for those of you who are advocating, single mothers, we don't need men. Men are trash. For those of you who are saying that, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Look, thank you for watching this video, man. I'm going to end this for now. Hit the like for the YouTube algorithm. Also, follow me on Instagram. Same handle, @DynamicMan365. I'll see you on the other side, family.